What's up? Welcome to the Counting Wisdom podcast. There is real signs for the rapture in that it's imminent. Most Christians believe that it's imminent, meaning there are no signs, but what I mean is we can know the season of Jesus' return. And so I think the rapture will happen, but I think it's when Jesus is ready to transition, or the Father. Maybe it's not Jesus's choice, but the Father, even though they're one, they're separate. They're three distinct divine beings, but also one and the same. And so the Father is going to make the choice where, we transition the world. And, I think one of the signs that we're in that stage is the days of Noah. We're going to reach a time where Jesus said it's going to be like the days of Noah. And that is world spread wickedness, where every thought and intent of a person is only evil continually. And so I think God is waiting for the world to reach that state where there no longer is that saving power to really change someone from the world, from the way that they're in. And so, do I think that we're in that state? I think we could be getting close. I'm not really going to say that I'm an expert to really discern that, but I know that a lot of Christians, we collectively believe that we're in the season for that to happen. But, like I said, I think we're going to really see where it's just, no one is going to really be responding to the gospel message. And I think, there's only going to be a remnant of believers that are going to be, raptured and taken from the earth. Now, I can't really put a number, on how many people are going to be raptured. Most Christians believe that it's going to be millions. It's going to be every Christian. And then some think that it's going to be more of just the true believers, that are going to be saved, people who really believe. But we know that anyone who believes is going to be saved. And that comes from the Gospels. Jesus said, whoever believes and is baptized will be saved. And that's from the book of Mark. And then even when Paul described how to be saved, when the Philippian jailer asked Paul, what must I do to be saved? He said, believe on the Lord Jesus and you will be saved. So I think, we need to just really believe. And then, we need to endure. We need to be able to just endure different things, different trials, different things of life, different battles. And we do that through the Spirit of the Lord, through the power of God. And I think God is able to enable us. God is able to give us rest after we have suffered a while. We know in Peter, he promises to strengthen us and to place us on a firm foundation. And so he says that in the book of Peter. And so, you know, will we be able to see if we're in the days of Noah? You know, I think we'll get a good idea, you know. I think when you really look around, do you see, you know, the news headlines, the behavior of people in society displaying evil, you know? Because I know for Lot, he was vexed in his righteous soul. Lot, Abraham's nephew, or I want to say cousin, but anyway, Lot, he was vexed in his righteous soul, it says, because of the wickedness that he heard and saw. So he was seeing and hearing wickedness. So that could be a good measure. You know, do you see and hear wickedness from the people around you? Not just from movies or TV shows, but from actual society. You know, what's kind of happening. And I hear the news, and I hear a lot of things happening in the world that are bad, you know, whether that be the Taliban, you know, taking over Afghanistan, whether that be, you know, different lawless deeds that are happening throughout society. And so, you know, I could totally put my agreement with the Christians that say that we are getting closer to the Lord's return, you know. And I think it's not a time to kind of get complacent. You know, there's a great cartoon that I kind of like watching every now and again, and it's a Bible cartoon, and it shows basically the parable of the two servants, or I guess it's really the parable of the talents or the minas. And, you know, the master goes off on a long journey, and when as he leaves, he gives his servants money. You know, he gives them money to utilize and, you know, to do business until he comes. And so really they were supposed to be doing the master's business. You know, he gives them money to kind of keep the house in order, to, you know, take care of different business needs. But one servant, you know, he doesn't utilize the master's money. He just buries it. And so he doesn't, it basically indicates that he doesn't really do work while the master is gone. And so I think for us, you know, we need to be making sure that we are doing the work of Christ, which is believing, but also, you know, utilizing our resources, I think, in practical ways, like, you know, utilizing our money in righteous ways, utilizing our time, whether that be serving in church or serving other Christians in need or serving people in need, through different acts of righteousness, through different acts of goodness. And then, you know, I think we need to remember that God sees it. You know, God takes note of the different things that we do. And so, you know, God has a good plan. We're going to get to know God. You know, we're going to know God, know who he is, and we should already know him right now. Which brings me back to the last point that I'll leave you with is, I know in the parable of the 5 wise virgins and the 5 foolish virgins, Jesus said at the end that he didn't know the foolish virgins. And so I think we have to know God now, enter into a relationship with him. I think that can be done through prayer, through talking with God, but also, you know, we've done that through, we're known by God, it says, when we put our faith in Christ, it says we are known by God, and then we know God, by doing His commandments, loving one another, treating others how we want to be treated, forgiving. He mentioned some other ones too that I won't mention right now. Just, you probably know them already. You should know them, but also, you can go to the Bible and find those. So anyway, I think the rapture could happen, at any time, but I think personally God is going to be waiting until a certain time frame. I don't know if it's just going to happen randomly, God just somehow, I think God is going to, I should say it this way, God is going to, He's waiting for something to I think He's waiting till the harvest, the harvest time, which, like I already talked about, is when things are fully grown. When a plant is fully grown, it can't do any more growing. If it does stay in the ground longer, it's going to go into its dying period where it just starts to die. But there's a certain time where the plant is ready to be eaten. It's ripe and it's ready to be eaten. And then after it passes that time, it starts to die, right? And it starts to go back into the ground. And so God, I think He's waiting for that harvest time, that perfect time where right before things start to die, it's ready to be eaten. It's ready to be picked. And I think that is the time that God is waiting for. And so I think we do have to be aware of the signs of the times. If you're looking for something that kind of keeps up with the different signs of the times, I follow 2 YouTube channels. On this channel, I don't always mention different signs of the times, but there is some faithful YouTubers that are putting out videos, and one is Signs of the Last Days on YouTube. You can find them at their website, signsoftheLastDays.org, and they put out YouTube videos on every Sunday, and they kind of keep up with different signs in the news. And then also they do one throughout the week, maybe 1 or 2 videos, live streams throughout the week, and that's run by a pastor, I think a former pastor named William Thompson. Again, and that's signsoftheLastDays.org. And then there's another YouTube channel that keeps up with signs of the last days, and that is the Watchman on YouTube. He's called, let's see if I can narrow down your search when you're searching. It's not the Watchman with Eric Stackleback. It's not that one. Even though you can watch that one. He keeps up with signs of the last days, and that's the Watchman with Eric Stackleback. But I'm talking about another YouTube channel called The Watchman, and it's just called The Watchman. And I can leave a link to both of these channels in the description of this video, and that'll probably make it easier for your search if I just link you those 2 channels. And why I'm telling you you can keep up with the signs of the last days on those channels. And the Watchman, he posts videos almost daily. I think he leaves off one day, and then the other channel posts about two videos a week, live streams. They do a live stream every few days or so. So, okay, that's it for this podcast. Like I said, I think we're getting closer, if not there already, but I think we're getting closer to the time that the rapture is going to happen. But again, I don't really have, some sort of, it's more going off of a feeling. There's nothing that tells me when the rapture is going to take place. I think, God, he's going to either have the trumpet call, the last trumpet, or the voice of the archangel, wake us all up, get us ready for the return. But I think we just need to keep our eyes on the Lord and be ready. I think that's what we should really focus on, instead of focusing on when does the master show up, because he's going to show up whenever he gets ready. But I think what we need to focus on is being ready, doing the master's will until he comes. Okay, that's it for today, and I will talk to you on the next podcast. See ya.